Good morning. Thank you. So our prelude song that we've been singing the last couple weeks, I wanted to tell you something about it this week. This is an example of what we call a zipper song, which is a song that can kind of have words inserted into it to be customized for any occasion. So in this case, this joy that I have, the word joy, we can replace with whatever word works best for us on that day. So I wanted to see today if there were some ideas for other words we could put in place of joy. So we'll do joy for the first verse, and I'm curious if there are any ideas for words we could put in the second, third, and fourth verses. We're looking for a one-syllable word. Love, hope. I heard hope. Spring. I heard joy, hope, spring, and love. Oh, peace. Oh, well, we don't have that many verses. Let's go with, let's do peace, because we did love last week. So there we go. So we'll do joy, hope, spring, peace. I'll shout it out before we start. So, all right. So starting with joy. Yeah. So here we go. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Hope is next. This hope that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This hope that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This hope that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Spring, this spring that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This spring that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This spring that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Peace, this peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This peace that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Oh, the world didn't give it, the world can't take it away. Thank you. I wrote under bulletin, sorry. That was wonderful.
Bonjour tout le monde. We are here. Welcome everyone to the First Unitarian Congregation of Ottawa. Whether you are here in Worship Hall or watching from wherever you are, know that you are welcome. I'm the Reverend Meter, the lead minister here at FirstU. And I have to remember that spring is in here, not just given out there. Thank you for that necessary reminder.
Thanks, Eric. I'm Kate, your worship associate, and I'm happy to be here this morning with all of you. We acknowledge that our FirstU campus is located on traditional, unsurrendered, and unceded Algonquin Anishinaabeg territory, and that the work of reconciliation is a responsibility of our congregation and of all Canadians. Our goal is to educate ourselves and all those that have the willingness to understand, to be of service to those who are at risk, and to advocate for justice.
Thank you, Kate. Let's join our voices in song once more. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing together Gaudeamus Hodie, which is number 390 in your gray hymnals. Jen will lead us in it as a round. The lyrics will also be on the screen above. We've got a few helpers coming forward. This is really good.
Is this mic on? Hello? Hello? Nope. Not on? Hello? Now is it on? Yeah. Okay. So our next, it is on for sure? Yeah? Okay. This is Gaudeamus Hodie. It means be joyful this day. Congregation, you're going to sing just the first two lines. If you're looking in the hymnal, the words will be up there shortly. And it sounds like this. Just before we sing it, I'll play it for you once. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. So what will happen is I'm going to sing that part with you the whole time, but we're going to add fusion up here in on some other harmony parts. All right? And we'll sing it as many times as we feel sounds good. So feels good, not sounds good. It'll sound great no matter what. Okay. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. 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 Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus
Jen, I expected one form of around. What you led was better. Thank you. We light our chalice this morning to these words from Mark Mosier de Wolf. And someone had said that they would help me. Do we still have a helper? All right. Oh, we got a helper and a helper's helper.
Two helpers. How do we get it?
Real careful. There you go. You can blow it out. How's that?
Blow it, Evan.
Blow it out.
I'm both gonna blow it.
One more. All right. Yes, you did do it. Words from Mark Mosier de Wolf. Facing this world with mystery, facing this world of mystery with wonder, even awe. We gather as women and men who have always gathered to share that sense of high value which pervades our lives. We know when we are away from it, We know when we are with it, it is our wellspring of inspiration, our source of hope, our fondest love. O mystery of life, bring us together in your company. Light in our hearts a candle of hope and a beacon of vision as we light this candle to symbolize the flame of freedom, the light of love, the beacon of truth. Our chalice is lit. Come, let us worship together, by which I mean singing our chalice song. Jen? Jody, will you help me again?
Good morning, everyone. I'm Jody McIntosh, your Director of Religious Exploration, and I have a very special time for all ages today that Reverend Eric has decided to help me with. He needs a little coffee to help him out.
Jody, thanks for joining me at this fabulous cafe. Thanks for the coffee. I've been hearing whispers about these new Unitarian values. What's the buzz all about?
Ah, Eric, buckle up, my friend. We're about to embark on a cosmic journey. So, you know how Unitarian Universalism is governed by our 8 principles? Well, hold on to your hat because we're starting to think about our beliefs in a new way. Instead of our principles, we can think about our faith using 7 values. Strap yourself in, Eric. We are going for a ride with a jet pig fueled by love.
A jet pig? What in the world are you talking about?
Well, imagine a pig. Yes, a pig. Zooming through the skies with a tiny jetpack strapped to its back. And what fuels this magnificent beast? Love. Pure, unadulterated love. It's like Cupid and Amelia Earhart had a piglet together.
Okay, so this means this has nothing to do with the pig farm I used to live downwind of.
No.
In this context, I'm intrigued, but what does jet pig have to do with Unitarian values?
Okay, well, let me break it down for you. Our jet pig stands for, first of all, justice. J is for justice. The piggy fights for fairness, equality, and social justice, no more turning a blind eye to injustice. E is for equity. Our airborne swine believes in leveling the playing field. Everyone gets a seat at the cosmic picnic. Transformation. Picture this. The pig, once earthbound, now soars through the cosmos, embodying the power of change and growth. Pluralism. P is for pluralism. Our piggy doesn't discriminate. It celebrates diversity like a rainbow-colored confetti cannon. I is for interdependence. The jet pig knows it can't fly solo. It's all about interconnectedness like stardust weaving constellations. G is for generosity. The pig shares its jet fuel with fellow travelers because love multiplies when you give it away. And finally, what is it all fueled by? Love. Ah, the heart of it all. Love propels our pigure higher, faster, and farther. It's the warp drive of the soul.
This is wild, Jody, but why a pig? Why not say a majestic eagle?
Well, Eric, because eagles are overrated. Pigs are underrated heroes. They're smart and resourceful and surprisingly aerodynamic. Plus, imagine the headlines. Love-powered pig breaks sound barrier. It's poetic.
Okay, you've got me hooked. So, when do we formally adopt these values?
Well, Eric, these values have always been a part of our Unitarian Universalist faith. Our faith is based on covenant. This is, we make promises to each other about how we will be in relationship. These values can be our guiding light to as we live in covenant together. For now, we just want to start the conversation and get people thinking about these new values. So let's toast to exploration, to new ideas, and to get to an exciting journey ahead with our jet pig. May love guide us on this path.
To exploration, new ideas, and love, Jody, here's to the most unconventional faith journey yet.
Thank you, everyone. We will be singing our children on our way. So as is our tradition, if you make a lovely arch for the children to walk down, thank you.
Well, thank you, Jody and Eric, for that inspiration. As health challenges continue, do take care and take advantage of online opportunities at FirstU to stay in touch. If you are new to FirstU and would like to learn more about us, please contact us through our email at welcome@firstunitarianottawa.ca. And if you are right here in Worship Hall with us this morning and would like more information about FirstU, it is available at the welcome table at the back of the pews, and Carol will be there to help you. And now here's Amy from our board to highlight some announcements for today. Amy?
Hi, everybody. That was great. I love pigs. Okay, so the first announcement has to do with the Environmental Action Group. We have another step in our advocacy to reverse Bill 165. The government of Ontario is asking for your comments. This is your chance to tell them to take the advice of the Ontario Energy Board vis-a-vis instead of and revoke the bill. And they're receiving comments about the bill until April 7th. Check with the climate action page. Scroll down to Enviro advocacy section for more information about how you can make your comments known, because there's a link to the environmental registry right on that page. So that's, again, it's the climate action page on our website that you can go to, and you can make your information, your thoughts known about that. And there are also several sample lovers there. So even if you want to do your bit by going there, taking a sample lover and submitting it, it'll make a huge difference. Because the more information that they get, the more likely it is to turn the needle. So hopefully you'll all do your bit. The next announcement is about the Mental Health Support and Action Group. They're having a hybrid meeting today at 12:30. So if you can attend in person, it's in room 6 downstairs. And if not, if you want to go on Zoom, or for you at home, the Zoom link is in the EUU. The next announcement is about our FirstU annual report. So our AGM is coming up on May 6th. So there's your save the date. May 5th. May 5th, my bad. But the announcement is, do you know about FirstU's annual report? It's a comprehensive report that tells everyone about everything we're doing and is a great way to get to know FirstU better. So the report will be something that you can consult if you'd like to know more about our activities as well. And this report is usually sent out around the annual general meeting, so it'll come in your package. That's on May 5th, not 6th. And so if you're a chair of a committee, please, we'd like you to participate and give us your information on your activities, and they're due by April 12th. So please send them to Jen in the office. And finally, we had our board meeting on Wednesday, and we're very pleased to announce that we have 3 new members of our congregation. So please join me in welcoming Peter and Chris Tushinsky, apologize if I got the name wrong, and Mary Ellen Ono to our community today. Welcome. We encourage you to sign up to receive the EUU, because that's just a sampling of all the information that we gave out this week. Our weekly newsletter, to look on Facebook, Instagram, and for different notices and updates. Our calendar continues to be as full as ever, and many of our activities are online. This morning, each of us are welcome. We, of any heritage and faith, whatever our burdens, of any culture or race, of any gender or orientation, in any body, all that we are. Today, we are part of this spiritual community. Welcome.
Thank you, Amy. I love pigs too, but I did once live a little too close to a pig farm. We'll leave it there. There's a difference between symbolism and reality, right? We'll get to that later, actually. Each week we pause in our time together in recognition of the joys and sorrows in our lives and across the globe. We honor our celebrations and challenges by placing stones in bowls of water. As the ripples extend outward, imagine them continuing out beyond these small bowls, out through and past our pews, out into the larger community of all. A stone that Mount Cleary is slowly shrinking. Perhaps more slowly than we would like, but I'm told it does take time to move mountains. And a stone, because we're thinking of our own Reverend Ellen. She hasn't been here lately. She retired as one of our ministers over a year ago now. A stone for Norma. We're thinking of you and wishing her the best. A stone for John, a very good wish for his 90th birthday. And a stone for Akash. Congratulations on the Bronze Duke of Edinburgh Award. And as we celebrated our 3 newest members who were approved by the board on Wednesday night, we have a new member of our community as of Friday afternoon. Do we have the slide? Folks, this is Robbie Connor. Justine and Tara are now proud parents, and all are doing very well. Yes. Please come forward now to honor your joys and sorrows by placing stones in a bowl of water. The last stone, as always, for all that still remains in the silent sanctuary of our hearts. Carrying cards for those I named earlier at the back of the hall for us to sign at the caring table. Even if you don't know any of them, please sign the cards. This is a way for us to extend our care on behalf of those who have given so much of their hearts to this community. I invite us now into a time of stillness and reflection. After several moments, Jen will bring us back together through the gift of music.
Our reading is entitled In the Presence of Majesty by Mark Mosher de Wolf. One day last January, in the February thaw that came a month early, I went for a late afternoon walk in Toronto's High Park. Though the air was warming, a bit above freezing, the hills and ravines were still snow-frosted. The ice on the Grenadier Pond was too thin for skating, though one lone skater was looking longingly from the shore. Having walked from Bloor Street past the pond, I climbed up near Colburn Lodge and from its peak, stared out at Lake Ontario. As my gaze returned to the scarred earth, which formed the snow into pleats, the long ravines reaching downward to the Great Lake, I thought of the towering glacier which had once covered this place, whose coming and going left us land and lake as we know it now. I felt the historic presence of the mighty shaper of Earth, whose impact on our continent was greater than anything humans have yet to wreak upon it. I felt myself in the presence of something majestic. I laughed. Often we leave the word majesty for romantic poets attempting to describe the land. My laugh was for myself, for I finally knew what they meant when they said, the majesty of the land. What had been poetic hyperbole became real for me in one afternoon walk. It is especially Canadian to feel the grandeur of this land, is it especially Canadian to feel the grandeur of this land and to recognize our smallness beside it? Yes. Unitarian leaders of 100 years ago glorified the free individual. Perhaps the reason our faith has not spread in Canada as much as someone would hope is the experience of life in this country is not supportive of the glory of the individual person. Rather, here in these northern climes, we feel the glory of the world, the majesty of the land, and the call of the Spirit in the open spaces. The old Calvinist proclamations of sin declared that God was all, humanity nothing. Canada is often declared a Calvinist country for the pervasive sense of doom that abides in the culture. The doom abides because the land, like the history of this country, is so much more powerful than an individual person. In Canada, we Unitarians have tended to ignore our smallness before the mystery. We have glorified human nature, but the days of unbridled human nature are over. We have learned that for all our progress, we are still destructive of the world and of each other. So a Unitarianism for Canada, for the people who live in the presence of such overwhelming majesty, is one which does not denigrate the human in the face of the divine. Rather, it recognizes that the divine and the human are part of one process, that we participate in the mystery of the world and are part of what makes it turn for good or ill. Such a religion reveres the majesty of the country that surrounds us and the wonder of human beings who carry on lives in the face of hardship, both physical and personal.
The laugh you gave in response to the notion that there's a sense of doom that pervades this country gives me hope. Thank you. Jet Pig was not my idea. In fact, the image kind of pickles my brain. Yet, it brings a smile to my face as well, I have to admit. Yes, it may seem trite, even ridiculous, but we have to admit, I think, that as a faith tradition, we could use a little empowerment, a little being fueled by love. There are fewer of us gathering in spaces like this or via video streams that bear our name than our message deserves. And the cure for that, if there is one, is less programmatic than it is foundational. We talk about growth in our congregations, of bringing in more members. Well, properly understood, growth is an outcome of strength and vitality. It's not a proper goal. Now, before I should continue, I should add that the change from our principles and purposes, which Jody mentioned, are hanging on the banner to my left, to those values that Jet Pig speaks to, is something that may take place south of our country's borders. If they are adopted by the Unitarian Universalist Association, they will have an indirect, though very real, effect on us here in the sunny north. We are very much at the beginning, the early stages of Jet Pig's story. So let us leave that erstwhile hero and go back in time a bit and to a far side of this continent. Years ago, on my way to the first congregation I served professionally, I would drive down Livermore, California's East Avenue, where I would pass every day, twice a day, the Tri-Valley Church of Christ. Every other week, it seemed, they would have a new banner out front by the road advertising a new workshop series. And every other week, it seemed, a new card from them would arrive in the mail with information on how to sign up. I saved this one. This is at least 20 years old. It says, I probably can't read it, there's a boy jumping into a lake. We are always getting ready to live, but never living. It's a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Ralph Waldo, as you may know, was a 19th century thinker and speaker, writer, and perhaps the most influential transcendentalist. Last Tuesday night, here at 30 Cleary, members of our What Moves Us adult education course learned about his friend and fellow transcendentalist Margaret Fuller. And before she left North America to write about the Italian Revolution, she became our continent's first war correspondent, writing about the Italian Revolution. Before she left for that endeavor, she and Emerson would take long walks together, challenging one another's thinking. But I digress once again. We are always getting ready to live, but never living. The line the Church of Christ used for its advertising is from the third volume of Emerson's collected journals and was written on April 12th, 1834, when Emerson was not yet 31 years old. From 1829 until when he was ordained by the congregation until June of 1832, Emerson served the Second Church of Boston, which, while it began as a congregational church in 1647, became Unitarian in 1802, a year before Emerson was born. No, there won't be a quiz on all of this later. Feeling constrained by the practice of offering communion, Emerson left Second Church and the ministry after just 3 years there. Afterward, he wrote for larger audiences, and his influence arguably did more to nurture Unitarianism than any other single person during that century and likely beyond. And still, while we claim the guy, ideas sadly are free agents. Tri-Valley Church of Christ did nothing wrong by using one of our own for its own marketing. Damn it. It's up to us if we want to play in those fields or leave them to others. As I may have mentioned sometime in the recent past, before I left that congregation in California, I helped a group of area Unitarian Universalist congregations band together and raise money for an advertising blitz. The goal was to raise awareness of our faith across the San Francisco Bay Area. Our congregations were to polish their silver, so to speak, and step up their welcome game for the newcomers we hoped the ads would attract. We ended up raising back there, did much to make a welcoming place for the newcomers that arrived, the few that did. Seems we weren't immune to the urge to throw money at problems instead of making more of a lasting effort. So it goes. Stand with love, the slogan that came later, might have had more lasting traction. At least it says something. But well-meaning folks within our ranks took issues with the slogan's ableist language. And so, and this is my opinion, it was watered down to side with love, which inspires fewer, even if the slogan is more inclusive. Now, this is my opinion. I mourn the loss of that active verb. I'm an English major, I get to do that. So even when we're trying our best, we can be our own worst enemies. We're only human, after all. Side with Love continues as a denominational initiative, but it doesn't resonate the same way beyond our current borders. So what are we left with here and now? How can we best share our faith? And what is exactly the faith we're talking about sharing? Since the mid-'80s, we have proclaimed our principles and purposes. Again, they're right there. At first, there were 6. Shortly, a 7th, respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are a part, was added. And then, not long ago now, we here in Canada formally added an 8th. They now read, and I'll do this quickly, but I want to give the whole context. We, the member congregations of the Canadian Unitarian Council, covenant to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations, acceptance of one another, and encouragement for spiritual growth in our congregations, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Yes, that sounds a little bit like some language from the South. Respect for the interdependent web of all existence of which we are part, and most recently, here in Canada, individual and communal action that accountably dismantles racism and systematic barriers to full inclusion in ourselves and an institution. Now that's great stuff, but it's a mouthful, isn't it? The thing is, in human nature, it's common for our expressions, our understandings to change over time. Some expressions lose their power after a while. There are lasting truths and symbols, signs that point towards them, symbols and signs that need to change every now and then. In recent months, this congregation has approved new charitable purposes that better reflect what we've been up to and that we aspire to do in the coming months and years. Such things, even though they are foundational, the core document, they're among our core documents, they're meant to change slowly over time, and that's okay, that's healthy even. In human nature, our expressions, our understandings will change. There are permanent qualities as well as transient ones. That's just the way we are. Our signs and symbols point to lasting truths, even as they will always fail to completely capture those truths fully. In fact, it may be impossible to capture what is lasting permanently. So transitory signs and symbols are absolutely necessary. I expect that jet pig will be transitory. That's fine. If it helps us clarify what we're about, great. And while we've had principles and purposes for 40 or so years, we've always had core values: justice, equity, transformation, pluralism, interdependence, generosity, love. I can work with that. And I have to admit that that's not exactly the secular humanist Unitarian Universalism I grew up with in the 60s and 70s. It's better. We will need to be clear about what each of those points means, especially the love that empowers the rest. We will have to speak more clearly about the love we mean. As Martin Luther King put it the year before he was killed, power without love is reckless and abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. The world doesn't need any more anemic love, does it? Let me leave you now with words about our Canadian Unitarian faith from Linda Weeva Horton, one of our retired Unitarian ministers who served congregations in Kelowna, North Vancouver, and Saskatoon. Here's what she says of our Canadian Unitarianism. It takes courage to live in the midst of ambiguity without definitive answers. It takes courage to give up conformity in our commitment to respect and openness and authenticity, and to love alike when we don't think alike. It takes courage to trust the dawning future, as so many of our religious ancestors did in the face of obstacles few of us can now imagine. And it takes courage to embrace the responsibility of holding that future in trust for those who will come after us, as did so many who came before us. And while courage is often a form of love, I might want to see courage a bit more clearly defined in those 6 values, but that's just me. What is the core of our faith to you? What's most important about our message that we have to share with others? And how do you think we might be able to share it more widely? Thank you. Thank you.
In the spirit of our love-filled jet pig today, we are going to be singing Amor de mi alma by Zed Randall Stroop. The text to this is by Garcilaso de la Vega, who lived in the 1500s, 1503 to 1536. And this is a deeply passionate love song. Enjoy.
Now invite the ushers to start passing the baskets. And just do a quick intro before that, and I'd ask you if you could help by passing the baskets along the rows. That'll help the ushers out. Our special offering today will be introduced on the screen by Reverend Beckett Coppola. And there we go.
For the Unitarian Universalist movement in Canada. It is designed to encourage greater associational awareness in our congregations and fostering of relationships and a sense of community and connection among and between our member congregations and communities. Each year, this fund is renewed with money collected by congregations at special dedicated Sunday services like this one, and from a foundation fund administered by the First Unitarian Congregation of Toronto. These donations are sent to CUC to be distributed as grants to congregations applying for projects they may not otherwise afford. Since its inception in 2001, through the generosity of our congregations and Canadian New Views, the Sharing Our Faith program has awarded over $200,000 in grants. Past initiatives include support for part-time professional ministry, communication, publicity, and increased visibility through signage, social media, or the web, technology upgrades to increase accessibility, and religious education, youth, and music programs. But before we take up the offering, let's pause and acknowledge that this year has been hard. Costs are up, and not everyone is in a position to contribute. If this is your circumstance, we're grateful to have you with us today, and your presence here is enough. But if you are in a position to contribute, congregations across the country will be grateful for your generosity. When the plate passes, we can experience a visceral connection to one another. Passing that basket or bowl hand to hand, seeing people stretch to contribute whatever they can, and feeling a sense of satisfaction that we're supporting the very program that has so generously supported each of us in the times when we were working hard to reach a new goal. Attending on Zoom from our homes or our workplaces, or even our cars, we don't get quite that same tangible experience. We are one step removed from the immediate practice. So I invite you, if you're not here in body, to come closer and participate in the ways that you can, to reach beyond the screen and make a contribution, either by sending it to the congregation marked Sharing Our Faith, or by contributing directly to the CUC. It can feel awkward and it takes extra steps, but your effort is deeply appreciated. So we ask this morning, whether you're attending virtually or in person, to do whatever you can, to give in the spirit of growth, in the spirit of hope, so we can live into our lessons of the past and emerge into a thriving future together, to help our neighbors grow, to help all of us grow. For 22 years, this program has helped Canadian New Views to help one another, to keep the flame of Unitarian Universalism blazing. And this year, we need your help just as much as ever before. So here are the methods. For anyone attending a Sharing Our Faith service in person, please contribute to the collection as generously as you are able, and it will be sent from your congregation to the Canadian Unitarian Council's Sharing Our Faith Fund. And for those online, watching at another time, or wanting to donate later, you can go directly to the website cuc.ca and go to Sharing Our Faith page to donate. The CUC will gladly receive checks as well, or you can e-transfer to info@cuc.ca. And please be sure to keep your contact information for tax receipts in the message box, and mark your contributions, all of them, as Sharing Our Faith. Your generous support today, or directly anytime up until March 31st is an expression of hope that together we can help serve the needs of our sibling congregations and communities, and the faith that our work will reach across the country and the world. We look forward to the Canadian Unitarian Council annual meeting in May, when the grant recipients will be announced, and we can share in one another's growth initiatives and good fortune. What happens here today will help to fuel that celebration. If you're interested in some ideas about how this can be a support to your congregation, go to the Sharing Our Faith page at cuc.ca and make sure you get that grant proposal in by March 31st. Thank you for your annual support of this program and of all our faith communities across Canada.
And now please rise as you are willing and able to join together in our closing hymn, Answering the Call of Love, which is the updated version of number 1014 in the Teal hymnal.
Please be seated. Before we begin to close this time of worship and reflection, a reminder that coffee hour will begin in Fellowship Hall immediately after the service. If you are new here, still feel new, or simply welcome a good conversation today, please please pick up a green mug as you enter Fellowship Hall? Doing so will help others looking forward to good conversation find you. Also, leafy greens, a courtesy of the good folks of Ajaski, are available to those who would like some from the grow towers in the old volunteer room near Fellowship Hall. We extinguish our chalice this morning to these words by Marjorie Midge Squire. Do not fear the work of the world. Your strength lies within you. Fired by prophetic voices from the past and companions of today, step boldly into the path which truth illumines. This morning's chalice is extinguished, but the spark of our connections and faith remain. Jen and singers, will you please bless us again by leading us in our closing song? Now, and as we return to the joy and challenge of helping the world come alive in love, let me simply say, go in peace, my friends. Go in peace.